So if you're in Hoi An and you're going to plan on living here, you're going to want to shop. Well, shopping's going to be very limited in Hoi An, limited to locals, the way the locals shop. There are tourist shops that are going to be inflated prices, but there's no big department store in Hoi An. So you're going to have to use small mom and pop stores or go to local markets. Here we're in the dry goods market in Hoi An, which they have a large selection of hardware goods and even avocado shakes if you wanted them. But you can get shoes, hardware stuff, you can get some clothing, things like that. And then outside there's an extensive fresh market. Now, even though the fresh market is very extensive, what you're going to need to do, from what I can tell from being here as long as I have, you really need to get a grasp of the language or get a Vietnamese friend to do your shopping for you. The reason I say that is it seems like the prices are always a little bit inflated if you're a foreigner, which never happens to me in Thailand. It does, I know, happen to some people in Thailand, but doesn't happen to me. Maybe because I can speak the language or I have better rapport, I don't know. But here, it seems to be everybody says the same thing, and a lot of foreigners don't realize they're getting overcharged till somebody asks them, well, how much did you pay for that? Then all of a sudden, you might not even tell the person they got overcharged. But anyway, yeah, the outside market is extensive with fresh fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. So as far as shopping, this is what you'd be limited to if you're living in Hoi An. Okay, so can you eat cheap in Hoi An? Well, there's all the stands that you would normally find around Vietnam with the noodle soups and the sandwiches and other kinds of noodle dishes as well. But if you wanted to come sit down in a restaurant as opposed to sitting on the street, you could come to a restaurant like this one we stopped at called Pien Ban. And it's just a regular, if you look, it's got the kindergarten chairs and tables as well. But it also has a few tables that are good size for foreigners to sit at. And so we stopped here to see how much it would cost to get some lunch here. And the menu is pretty extensive. They've got Vietnamese dishes for 35,000, which is $1.50. They're $1.50. Shrimp spring roll is $1.78, $1.80 for shrimp spring rolls. Here's sauteed chicken with chili and lemongrass, which is $3.35. All these dishes here are $3.35. Sauteed chicken with mixed vegetables, grilled chicken with sauté sauce, grilled pork with barbecue sauce. What else do they have here? Stir-fried morning glory with garlic. We call pak boon, phai dang. Here is 35,000. What was that? $1.56 for that. They even have a menu for 110. How are you? Very good. Hey, you speak good English. Yeah. Now this restaurant's example, when we showed up, the kids came out and took the order. Mom hasn't talked to us at all because the older people don't understand or speak English, but all the young people seem to have a very good grasp of it. So he came out and took the order, and that's very cool. There's two brothers. Anyway, back to the menu. But I mentioned this before. This is the young people are friendlier. The young people can speak English. Vietnam has a bright future, I can tell you. I can tell you that. Because if they actually, the attitude of the people here change and become friendly and welcoming and fun to be around, and they can speak English and stuff as they grow up, this is a good thing for this country, I can tell you that. They have a pizza for $4.90, cheese pizza. So there you go. In fact, they have cheese pizza, prosciutto, and mushroom, ham and mushroom, tomato mozzarella. What else? Tomato, caper, olives, and anchovies. All $4.90. Chicken pizzas, everything, all the pizzas, $4.90. So this is a cool little restaurant. So it goes to show you can actually sit down, listen to some great horn honking, have a nice coffee, talk to the kids, and eat some decent food at not such a great cost. So anyway, There you go. Eating cheap in Hoi An. It's doable, sure. I mean, we might even check out a couple of street vendors for sandwiches or something. We'll see. Okay, JC here again. I did a video, my first video I did of Saigon. I think it was the first video I did in this series. I showed an intersection in Saigon and the roundabout, and then compared it to an intersection in Thailand, and said in Thailand we just don't honk the horns. And so somebody commented that that was a busy intersection. The busiest intersection in Saigon. You can't compare that. So he was defending that people only in big intersection, major intersections use their horn. Now here's the truck. Nobody, anyway, four ways were coming, and they honked the horn. Let's just stand here for a minute. Now I'm not saying this is good or bad, this horn honking, because you have to walk in their shoes. This is their culture, this is the way they do things. I understand that. I'm not saying it's good or bad. Just for me, coming from a place, because in America, I'm sure there's some cities that we honk the horns continuously and beat people up, road rage and stuff, I'm sure. It happens everywhere. But I just want to show you an example here, coming from a contrast where they don't honk horns. There's so many great things about Vietnam that I've noticed why I've been here, and I'm going to mention that in the synopsis, but I wanted to show you that here's an intersection with like nobody coming in any direction. And the thing about this is what people do here, they won't slow down for the intersections. They think if they honk, that gives them the right of way if they honked first. So we're just going to stand here for a few seconds and check this out, because this is a really a quiet intersection. There's not a lot of people here, so I think this is even a lower comparison to the one I showed in Thailand, where it was a busy intersection and they weren't honking. Here's one with a very cool. Yeah. See, they honk at every intersection. I noticed this when I was in the Philippines, long time ago. They did the same thing. The taxi had worn smooth the horn in the middle of the steering wheel, because in the middle of the night we were going home and it was like this. Nobody on the intersections, and yet they were still honking the horn. Well, I'm in Hoi An, and I usually don't do a lot of tourist things, but I found something that's really cool I wanted to turn you all on to. This is called the Thai Phin Old House, and it's on Thai Phin Road, right? And it really doesn't have a lot of marketing or anything, but if you're in Hoi An, you ought to stop here, because this is really an amazing structure. The house is 250 years old, and 8 generations of the family have been living here and still do. If you look at the woodwork and everything, it's incredible, the amount of work, and to think it's been here 250 years is just beautiful. If you get an opportunity here in Hoi An, you can come through it for free, and the family will talk to you about some of the things that are in here and some of the history of it. Now, what I always like about houses, it reminds me of New Orleans and stuff, is the inside courtyards and stuff. I love this, where they have a water feature and some plants and stuff inside. But the family still lives here. The grandmother still lives here, and the family still lives here. So it's very cool. And some of the family members also do some arts and crafts and kinds of things here. So while you're here, if you're looking for some kind of souvenir or something to buy, there's some really cool handmade things in here. They actually turned off the light. There we go. So, I mean, you've got jewelry and all sorts of woodwork and carvings and stuff. And her brother makes the silver jewelry. So if you're in Hoi An, look this place up. Check it out. I mean, this is just an amazing, if you think about the history and what was going on 250 years ago when this was built, it's just amazing that a structure like this is still here and that the family actually still lives in it. So there you go. Check it out if you're in Hoi An. Okay, let's talk medical in Hoi An. Hoi An has two hospitals. Hoi An Hospital, which is a little bit older, not as up-to-date public hospital. It'd be probably cheaper than the Pacific Hospital, which is another option. Pacific Hospital is newer, it's got English-speaking doctors and stuff like that. The challenge is, and I don't pull any punches when I do these videos, is if you go online, you type in Pacific Hospital and see what kind of reviews it gets. There's a lot of people saying that they're handed a foreign menu. A foreigner comes in, they're handed a foreign menu with higher prices, and they take advantage of foreigners coming for medical treatment here. So, for what that's worth, if that's the case, then you'd have to go to Da Nang, which is about 45 minutes away, 40 minutes away, if you needed medical help. But for an emergency or something, you could probably come here, but expect to pay more. But they will bill out your insurance company if that's what you need to do. Okay, so another thing I always am checking on is the price of doing laundry. Now, sometimes in a tourist place, like laundry can get more expensive. One of the cheapest places I've ever found it is in Chiang Mai, which is about 30 baht a kilo. Well, I found a place here in Hoi An called, what is it, Number One. Laundry number, I think it's Number One. Yeah, Number One. And this lady will do the wash for $1 per kilo, which is 35 baht. So it's pretty comparable to what you get in Chiang Mai, which is the cheapest I've ever found. And because I think in Chiang Mai we can get it done for about 30 baht a kilo. Now, she'll also, for $0.50, she'll iron per kilo as well. That's per kilo price, $1 per kilo. And for an extra 50 cents per kilo, she'll iron it. I checked out the ironing. She does a great job ironing these shirts and stuff as well. So there you go. If you're in Hoi An, you're looking for cheap laundry. Number One. There you go.
Many people recommend.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Video. YouTube. Okay. So if you're looking for whether or not you'd be able to eat cheaply in Hoi An, I told you there's stands everywhere with traditional Vietnamese dishes. Here's a little stand that she makes the Vietnamese sandwiches, and also she has coffee and stuff. So let me show you what you'd be able to get. An egg sandwich on the baguette, 15,000. Here, let me get this converted for you. I know everybody will be asking me, well, how much was that? So 15,067 US cents. So egg sandwich 15. I can show you the menu why I'm talking about this. Egg and cheese 25, pork and cheese 25. So 15,000 was 67. 25 is $1.11. Chicken sandwich 20. Chicken and cheese 25. Vegetarian 20. So you get all these sandwiches on baguette, cheap, like $1. And you can add avocado for an extra 5,000. So if you want avocado added, it would be an extra 22 cents. Hot milk coffee, to Vietnamese coffee with the sweet milk in it. Hot 12, ice 12, and so that's like 53 cents US for the coffee. Hard to beat it. I mean, if you're on a budget, Category 1, you can eat this way very easily on a Category 1 budget as a ripper, a retiree in paradise. And the more I'm in Vietnam, the more I think that this is like paradise too. So anyway, just thought I'd pass that on to you. We're going to eat Category 1 right now. And I'm going to start out with my coffee. One thing that's really been different for me personally in being in Vietnam was because of different religion and different beliefs. Throughout Vietnam, you're going to see cemeteries with headstones, graves, and you're going to see shrines, like buildings for ancestors, built like houses, built to house the remains of their ancestors. And so this is really strange because I've lived in Thailand so long with the Buddhist religion. They always burn the bodies and then dispose of the ashes and stuff. So to see these cemeteries everywhere and these buildings, these little houses that are shrines to their ancestors is quite a bit different. And some of these that you'll see like this are whole hillsides filled. Now it appears that these were here, that there was a lot of graves here. Now this is right at the beach, and it appears that now they've taken these away. I don't know what they did with the remains that were in these, but this is a headstone that was left. But there's a lot of these little mounds where it looks like they've taken them all out. Maybe somebody's bought this property and going to utilize it for something else. But this is very different for me to see cemeteries and shrines and stuff, buildings built for their ancestors. So just one of the differences between Vietnam and their religious beliefs in Thailand. So, thinking about living in Hoi An? Well, if you think, well, you're going to be landlocked or just on that river, that's not exactly true, because only 15 minutes away, you can go to Hoi An. Hoi An is a beach area. They've got some resorts set up here now, but there's a lot of areas along the beach that haven't been built up yet, which they rent chairs and umbrellas so you can sit on the beach. Now, I got to tell you something. If you're living closer in town, it's hot. It's a lot hotter than here. It was probably about 90 degrees or something in town. It's supposed to get up to 102 in the next couple days. But anyway, the heat wave's coming through. So today we really felt the heat. I was sweating and stuff like that. But you get out here to the beach, you got this incredible wind blowing, and it's cool. So there you go. If you're living in town, you can always come out here. It's only, I think it took us about 10-15 minutes on the motorbike to get here. So hey, cooling off is always an option, even if you're in Hoi An. If you've been following my channel for a while, you probably know already that I don't like doing touristy things. That's not the purpose of my channel. But every once in a while I come across something very cool and I want to share it or want to experience it for the first time with you all. And so this is one example of that. This is called Marble Mountain. So we're going to check this out. Come with me. So there's an elevator that goes up into the mountain, and I'm not sure what's up there, but there's these stairs that come in here, which is really, really cool. It empties, we go into this cave, and there's some stairs over there. I want to know how to go up there. Very cool. And over here, we got stairs going in all different directions. So this is really cool with a lot of carvings in here, right into the stone. So this is very cool. We're going to explore a lot here. Let's see what's back here. Wow, check this out. So we did this part. Evidently there's two parts to this. There's the stairs that goes into the cave and you climb around the stairs, and as you can see, I exerted a lot of energy. These stairs are like straight up to the top of the mountain. We thought that it was going to connect up. I don't know, there's a lift that goes around the corner. There's a lift that goes all the way up. We thought it was going to connect and we'd be able to come down the lift or something. But that's not the way it is. There's actually two parts to this. So what you just saw was the cave part. Now we're going to go do the lift. And I can tell you, well, I shouldn't say that. I'm hoping it's going to be a lot less strenuous, because that was some exercise for sure. Okay, so we're trying to climb through this cave. Going through, and it's getting pretty small here. So, the first part of this in the cave was pretty cool. A lot of cool stuff. It was a little bit strenuous because it wasn't so cool in the cave. But this one's an endurance climb is all it is. There's not much to see except the view when you get to the top, and today's very foggy. So there's not much of a view, and all you did was endurance climb to get up here to see this. If you see these people struggling to get up, it's a tough climb. Now, a couple distinctions for you. To go in the cave, the first cave that we went into was 15,000 dong, and that was only for that cave. To climb up this thing was another 15,000, and then there was the lift, and the lift to get you up was 15,000. So you had the climb for 15,000, the lift for 15,000, and the lift for 15,000 was only to go up. You want to go down, it's another 15,000. So I'd do the cave thing if I came, if I were you all. If you want exercise, you don't have to go to a fitness center. Just pay 15,000 dong and do this because it's exercise, I can tell you. So anyway, we're at the top. Gonna head back down. Okay, on our way back down. Makes it even tougher holding cameras and stuff and wearing sandals. I didn't wear my hiking shoes today. JC here. Guess what? It's a good day for some people and a bad day for other people. Who's it a good day for? It's a good day for Nat. Why would it be a good day for Nat? Well, because we found a Thai restaurant in Vietnam. Wow. Amazing. But it's not cheap like Thai food back in Thailand, I can tell you that. But it's a special day for her because she can have some Thai food because she's not going to get any Thai food for about another 5-6 days. So this will be good. A little treat for her. And why would it be a bad day for me? Because yesterday we went to a place called Marble Mountain. And you're going to see the videos, or you probably already saw the videos of us climbing around Marble Mountain. Well, it was pretty strenuous and stuff. And guess what? You've probably always seen me wearing this watch, and I have a Tag Heuer watch that my parents gave me when I was very young, and I wear it all the time. Well, guess what? I lost the bezel on it yesterday, so it was a bad day for me. Now, I've lost it before, but I was able to find it, but going back into those caves in the mountains is not an option. So anyway, you'll probably be coming along with me on a future trip to Bangkok, because there's actually a Tag Heuer dealer in Bangkok that will repair this, and we'll do a little vlog or something, a vlog, video log of going to get that taken care of. But anyway, so we're having a little Thai rest, Thai food, and then we're headed off to the airport to head off to Hanoi. So there you go. I haven't had any coffee yet this morning, so this is going to be good. Anyway, there you go. Thai food. Off to the airport. Tonight, we'll be in Hanoi. Hey, so what do I think about Hoi An? Let's talk about it. You know, when I first came and I set foot in this place and I reported back, it was only an exploratory mission for one day, and I sort of didn't judge it fairly. And that's why I came back, because I wanted to really settle in for a few days and see what it was like. And it reminded me while I was here of you know, being from Florida. We had a couple places like down in Coconut Grove near Miami, or Siesta Key near Sarasota, and they were sort of like artistic, artsy kind of communities. And so after being here for a few days, it gave me that same kind of feeling that it's like you didn't have to live in those places. You could live just outside of them where it was cheaper, and then take advantage of some of the atmosphere and ambiance of those places. And besides the horn honking, like that guy honked, there's nobody here. Besides the horn honking, I got that feel here, that it was sort of like you could live outside of this tourist area just a little bit and live a good life, and be able to come in here and do something special. Like we just, you know, we're leaving, and so I wanted to do something special while we were here, get something that I couldn't get other places. So we ate at a restaurant here and had a special breakfast with poached eggs and some salmon and things like that. It was really great to have the opportunity to be able to do that, because you can't do that everywhere, especially in smaller cities, even in Thailand. The advantage of being places that are bigger cities or more tourist or foreign oriented is having those kinds of resources. And is it a good or bad thing? Well, it depends on your budget. If you had a high category 2 budget or 3 budget, you could really take advantage of places like this. It doesn't mean you have to live in it, but you could come in, step in, get wood fire pizza if you felt like it. Because every once in a while you can have a hankering for this kind of stuff. People that are friends on Facebook with Nat, they see some of the pictures she posts, and a lot of times, most of the times, we eat in a category 1, high category 1 budget, and that is, you know, the chicken soup or the sandwiches or traditional Vietnamese meals at traditional restaurants. But every once in a while we step out and treat ourselves, and you got to do that every once in a while, no matter where you live or how old you are or anything. You got to, you know, it's like you don't want to sacrifice for tomorrow, today, all the time. You need to have a goal to fulfill, but if you do it all the time, you might never reach the goal, or you'll be unhappy trying to get to that goal. So you got to treat yourself every once in a while. So being in a place like this allows you to do that. Being in a place like Chiang Mai allows you to do that. And it isn't so overwhelming here with tourism that it makes you feel overwhelmed, like you're just another number. Most of the people I shouldn't say most, a lot of the people in these businesses are very friendly. Some aren't, but like when the buses come in or the tour groups come in, it gets overrun a little bit. But like today, there's not a lot of tourists here, and it actually has a nice, quaint feel, and with the architecture and everything, it's sort of cool. So I want to reevaluate and re-rate Hoi An, and I'm going to say that it's a great little place if you have a higher budget to live, or you could take advantage of this and put up with some of the stuff that goes along with it for the resources that it offers. Now, Hoi An doesn't have a really good cheap hospital. It doesn't have shopping like a department store kind of shopping. You're going to have to, you know, the amount of choices you have are going to be limited for shopping. But transportation, you can rent a motorbike cheap. You can get your laundry done cheap. All the things that you need to do to live on a retirement budget, you can do here. And I think you'd be pretty happy in a place like this. Would I live here? Yeah, I would consider it. But not in the city, outside just a little bit. Plus, you have the beach that's close by as well. So if it's not overwhelmingly hot or you like the beaches, this is a great place, I think, to check out. And the way I look at this, same thing we did sort of on our trip this time. We were here in Vietnam for a month, or we're going to be in Vietnam for a month. And it's sort of like I remember the cruise ships down in Florida, where they'd take off and they would go away for a week and come back. And during that week, you'd stop at different places. And what I thought was really cool about that is it gave you an opportunity to realize where you wanted to go back and spend more time. And I think this trip's sort of been that for us. And we still have Hanoi to go check out as well. But it gives us an idea of where we'd like to come back. And at the end of this series, I'll go ahead and talk about all the places we experienced and what I feel about all of them as a place where a Ripper could retire. But I wanted to mention this about Hoi An because I sort of didn't give it a fair shake the first time around, and because it was very fast, and when we were here, it was a lot of tourists and stuff. So anyway, that's it for Hoi An, and we're out of here. We're headed to Hanoi for a few days, and then back to Thailand. So we'll give a follow-up at the end of all this series. But yeah, Hoi An's not a bad place. It's actually pretty cool. Hey, I have a little addendum that I want to add to my video of Da Nang. You know, I said that the beach was deserted. Well, it is deserted on Da Nang Bay, the bay side, but there's a little peninsula that sticks out. And I was on my way to Hoi An, and I noticed that the taxi was going down this beach I'd never even seen before. And it turns out that the other side of this peninsula is where everybody goes to the beach. So there are beaches that have some tourism on it. They have some hotels on there and people out on the beach and stuff, and it's called Dana Beach. So Dana Beach is different than the beach that I showed you at the beginning. At the beginning, there was nobody there on that beach. Now that strip that I drove down and we showed you on the video was deserted during the daytime. At nighttime, it came alive with restaurants. It filled with people, seafood restaurants and everything. But that strip during the day, there was nobody there. But Dana Beach is another beach around the corner of this little peninsula where they have actually people that are out on the beach, and it's got some activity. So I wanted to update you on that it's not all the beaches in Da Nang are like that. So there you go.